Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Game 2 of our group stages. We're going to have Team Triumphant Rise taking on Team Supreme Leader. I am Paddo from Raiseyourweaponmedia, as well as Highwind joining me in here, dropping combos up here at the caster desk. But it's all good. We're going to see the first bands coming here. KLE's both really strong champions, and really excited for this matchup here as we're winding down towards getting deep into the group stages and figuring out who's going to be going to that top bracket, who's going to be going to that lower bracket. Team Supreme Leader, pretty confident in here. They trust in their Supreme Leader, RCCS. He's going to be leading the way for them, and hopefully it's not false, because we know this Triumphant Rise team very, very well. I believe first met him way back in the day for the Vancouver League of Legends online tournament, in which RYW entered and exited victorious. Back in the days when we had the Twins and Boss Cow on there. And since now, that team's kind of been separated, but, the old glory days, that's when we first met these guys. Really cool group of players, showed up to a lot of our judgment tournaments, and just tournaments, all over the Vancouver area, and even coming down to Seattle for tournaments. So, really great players, people, and supporters of the community, so going to be rooting them on a little bit here, but excited to see what they have to go up against. What do you think about these bands coming out here? Because it looks like a lot of pretty strong bands, but a lot of a little bit more targeted stuff coming from Triumphant Rise. Yeah, like I said before, Heckroom probably going to be a pick band 100% of the time. Elise, I think she just falls into that top tier. Vi has really strong... I think Vi in the right team comp, and possibly not like as a first pick jungler, but possibly against like a squishy mid, a squishy back line. I think Vi's ability to get in and deal 1v1 from the jungle is really strong. I haven't seen much lane Vi lately, but I think, 3 strong picks overall from Team Supreme Leader. And then looking at these picks, look like just either targeted or picks that they don't really specifically want to deal with. I'm assuming that they probably looked at RM or Axiom. I'm sorry, the Supreme Leaders, and they probably looked at their top players and said, okay, this is who the top players play, the champions that top player plays, and we're just going to ban them out. Pretty typical strategy for an event like this, for teams that really don't know each other, haven't had an opportunity to play much against each other. So they'll probably just say, okay, this person plays this, this, and this. And we could say, KL, Cho'Gath, and Blitzcrank might have been just top picks for one of their players. I would not be surprised if, speaking of players and we know their picks, we know Matt Thunder has been playing Rumble, exclusively. Yep. And
he's going to do my favorite thing, which is connect the dots. Because they have the Amual, he can go in there, curse the sad mummy, everybody holds in place, and then Rumble has the easiest time ever drawing that equalizer over the team, connecting the dots, and just bringing all sorts of pain. Plus they have Griffle in there and Katarina. Going to be able to pick her spot to go in there as well. Right now, their team pretty devastating, and I like the picks coming back from the Supreme Leader. They're like, hey, you know what? The only thing that'll make this worse for us is if we give them Misfortune as well. So that actually kind of still fits into their comp. They have a nice, they have Cataclysm all to hold them in there. They also have Malphite to jump in there and do some AoE, so they can have a little bit of AoE counterplay on their own side. So I like those picks, at least coming from them. Master Yi, I would hope, would not be their pick, but...
APE is a very solo queue, stomperific champion. Difficult to deal with in some regards. It would actually... Well, probably not the best pick. I think Katarina has a heal debuff, if I'm not mistaken, as one of her abilities. Reduces healing.
Yeah.
So, probably, you're right, probably not the best pick. I would be a little leery of playing TF against this team. I think it's great that you're going to want to use TF to get out of lane and possibly make plays in bot lane or combine with Jarvan. But I don't think TF is a very strong pick right now, unless you're extremely godlike TF. I think TF is very susceptible to not so much misplays, but just being able to, it just doesn't have that strong lane presence that you would want or need. It does have that mostly global addition, but I think that mechanically, Team GG, Triumphant Rise's team is going to be they're kind of be aware of it, especially because in an arranged team format, you can communicate that says, look, TF is 6, he's looking to ult. TF is 6, he's looking to ult. Be careful, he's out of the lane, can't see him. Like, communication really
stifles TF's ability. So, I mean, really we're looking at, plain and simple, we're looking at an AoE comp versus pseudo AoE.
Yeah, I mean, their pseudo AoE comp, TF is kind of like, they're going to have to get some pretty good bang for their buck out of having him go different lanes, or the fact that he just has that global presence, the chance that he could come in, then, basically makes the rest of the lanes, or maybe they won't push as hard, try to push their advantage as hard, because they know that TF could come in at any moment, but again, you can also counters that, so we'll be interested to actually see how these two teams end up clashing, at least early on. We can reveal the summoners right there. Obviously, Trishana is going to be going that barrier, so again, going to be another aggressive lane from both sides, just kind of poking in there. Last time we did see there, we actually saw that the Misfortune lane actually had a pretty good advantage, zoning the Tristana Tark lane actually underneath turret. But we'll see how that switches up now, as we have it set up as is. Should be a good one, but a lot of really scary AoE combos coming in from Triumphant Rice that is a little bit more committed to that build than we see from the other teams.
Yeah, I mean, a very hardcore AoE composition. They're gonna have Tristana, who's got a lot of peel in her kit, the ability to gap close or disengage, in addition to Buster Shot, which is great for disengaging. Lulu, hands down, probably the best support in the game right now. I think warrants a ban. If I had to say pick ban any support, like 100%, it would be Lulu. I think she's extremely strong right now in her kit. The ult really adds a lot to the play. The 80% slow. I mean, there's just so much in what you get from Lulu as a support that it really takes away from other supports. Don't get me wrong, I think Tarek has a role, but I mean, from a support player, I think it would just be boring to play Tarek. Like, unless your name's Elements or something.
Yeah, he's the easy support. He's the Annie of supports, if you will.
I mean,
basically his goal.
Yeah.
So you put him in there. It's kind of hard to screw up, but you know what he's gonna do, and he just does his job pretty well in lane until people start to get outside the box more. We're not gonna see that change away from him.
And just to key in one more thing about this composition here, coming from Team Supreme Leader, we've heard. I look at their composition. I think this would be a great team composition to go against like a heavy physical damage team. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Triumphant Rise is rolling pseudo hyper carry with Lulu peel and a ton of AoE damage.
Yeah,
like it's
AP. Yeah,
I mean, so it's just in terms of just champ select. I think Triumphant Rise has an advantage here. Sorry, Triumphant Rise. Triumphant Rise is the champion skin that you get when upon completion of a tournament in a prize apt tournament, which you and I both own.
Yeah.
As tournament winners. But now we're switching over to casting, and that's just those are just my thoughts. Is there any one lane matchup that you think we should key in on for this game, Paddo? I mean, I know you're a huge Rumble fan. We're gonna see. It looks like Rumble versus J4 in the top. How does that play out?
So super secret good matchup against Rumble actually is J4, and I'm actually happy to see that because if you actually threw Malphite against Rumble, Malphite would get destroyed. So that's pretty much the best lane matchup that they can have against them. But I think Rumble's still pretty strong now. But I mean, J4 actually is actually pretty good against Rumble in laning, because since the main thing about Rumble is he's kind of weak through the early stages, and J4's early pressure, his early burst damage he can actually put onto a champion at very early stages, especially if he goes red pot and really wants support on, can actually get Rumble out of lane, get a lot of pressure on him, and make him really uncomfortable. So that is kind of a good pickup for them, but we'll see how the matchup actually plays out. I have a lot of trust in Mad Thunder's abilities. I got a chance to see him play a little bit last night, was playing in the danger zone, if you will, up there, was getting pretty low on health, but still winning a lot of trades in combats, and was really the strength of this team actually looking over it. Some of the team was falling apart, but he was always holding his own up there, so expect him to do pretty well. This mid lane's probably going to be pretty key as well, because I think as we pointed out earlier, Twisted Fate, how successful he is at trying to control those other lanes, and really get out there and be able to pull off some ganks and turn some trades to their favor. That's going to be key, because if he falls off, then their comp really falls apart against what Triumphant Rice is bringing to the table.
Yeah, and we're almost loaded into the game here. I would expect, the other thing about having a Jarvan in a lane, I mean, everybody knows about Jarvan jungle, and we've seen a little bit of Jarvan top. I actually know someone that plays Jarvan support. But the thing about Jarvan is Jarvan brings a lot of CC, brings that kind of initial burst damage. I don't know if he's going to bring enough damage that having a Malphite from the jungle is... I don't get me wrong, I think Malphite is a great champion, and he's similar to Momo in that in a team fight scenario, he can really sway. You know, he can initiate. He's got that hard initiate, and has the ability to catch people out of position and really start that team fight. But I'm not the biggest fan of of Malphite jungle. It's a little slow. And I don't think it would work well for this composition. I think if we were to swap that out for a Zen Zhao, I don't know if we're going to see Volibear from until maybe the later stages, but someone that can really, have that early gank pressure. Ooh, I think someone's got to.
Oh, there's going to be a face check into the 5-man team. Sun's coming in. Tank that stuff might be in a lot of trouble here. Flashes out over. Is barely going to be able to survive that Ignite. So nicely done by him. A couple Summoners trained right there. Ignite for a flash. Probably like that right now. Is they're going to come in here and pressure.
Oh, GG Ice!
Just get to the middle of all of them. I don't know what he's doing with the heals coming in now. Very, very close to Standard. Almost going to be able to pick it off. First Blood being able to go to Misfortune. And really nice early aggression coming in here from the Supreme Leaders. Love to see that. Don't quite know where the miscommunication was right there. I mean, as soon as Amumu was backed off out of that, I expected the rest of the team just kind of to play back a little bit. They even put a ward, but the ward that they did place was up around the corner. And if you can see here, that doesn't actually quite give you full vision around the corner. So a little bit too late.
Supreme Leader coming off to a strong start. The leader also walking away with first blood. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and skip Wolves. Maybe they didn't feel like they had enough opportunity to give them a leash. Top is going to go ahead and back out and head up. But they should be able to give Malphite a strong leash on blue. You can go Smiteless and then run up and crit take red. That'd be a great opportunity for him. Looks like no, they're going to just go ahead and have him use Smite here. The thing about Malphite is his passive does work really well for clearing jungle camps, especially if you can trust in your solo lanes.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be, because his ganking sucks. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
A Malphite gank, not scary at all. He comes in, makes a mean face. Those those a rock shard. Yeah, you're like, I'm okay, thanks. So, I think what we'll see is he'll be able to clear camp, use the passive from camp to camp, try to farm until possibly he hits 6, or if he knows someone that's really overextending, because, hey, if you're the enemy team, you're like, I'm not going to get ganked by Malphite, what am I afraid of? Well, I mean, it's still slow, it's still get red buff procs, so, wow. Matt Thunder does get that early level, and starts to really harass here on Jarvan.
Yeah, J4 a little bit laid back to lane, plus he also has that red pot in store, so J4 does finally decide to go in, which he can't before he hits level 2. Then he'll actually have a nice little trump card up his sleeve. That's one thing you can do with Rebel 2, especially early in lanes. You can actually, charge up into the danger zone and actually come at people with red buff and pretty much force flash and force them out in really early if they're not careful. So, Mad Thunder being able to get up there, get that early level advantage is actually going to be really big for him. You see him just pour it on. He actually has the mini advantage as well. And the Standard coming down behind him, trying to get on there, but he's overheated right now and is putting on a lot of damage in these trades, and that's actually going to help him in this lane matchup. If he can get through those early stages, once he gets 5 or 6, especially ahead, he's going to have a really good chance. But here we have the Supreme Leader in a lot of trouble as Griffel's going to be able to stuff him out, and now Endless Integrity able to bait them in with those slows. It's working on the Mighty Jack, and Griffel's going to plink him around one more time, but the downs are coming in well timed. The flash after, though, and Griffel's going to be able to take down Mighty Jack, and now more pressure on the turret, and Rumble able to harass with Flame Spitter. You can use Stop right outside the turret range and still be able to deal damage to people, plus throw those Electro Harpoons. You have no mana, no worries, and right now, just that early level advantage. I actually feel a little bit worried about this matchup now for J4, since he wasn't able to stay even with him in the early stage.
Yeah, this is now, Rumble hasn't even used his red pot yet. Jarvan was able to buy a ton of pots. He actually has one ward, probably has gone to about 3 or 4 pots, and now sitting down, still has 8 left, so definitely looking for kind of a long haul of sustain in lane. Looks like Rumble already down to 2 pots and still has that red elixir. But you know what? I think what's going to happen is Rumble's going to hit 6. And it's going to be lights out.
GGI's getting the stun there from the yellow card and the slow, but he's going to be able to back up out of this one. Not too much trouble, just taking some nice harass there. And a little bit of trade coming up here now, and the only feeder is actually not winning this one out. As Rumble starts to run him down, resets those spells. Now J comes in there, wants to go for the kill. going to be able to possibly, and he actually did pop that red pot, so give him that extra little oomph to go in there and finish that one off, and now he might be in a little bit of trouble as Black is going to be coming for this one, except for the trick is, though, is Rumble is level 5 now. He can actually kill Malphite if Malphite's not careful, and a movement's going to come as well, and that is going to be a kill, ladies and gentlemen. I can call that one out right now. Nicely picked up there, and yeah, just don't want to play with Rumble once he gets to that level, even if you're a Malphite. Not too scary out of the jungle.
Yeah, I think level 3's Flame Spitter, you know, at first, you know, you and I had this conversation before about Rumble. I was like, well, you know what, I've laid against Rumble several times, and it's like, sometimes I don't get it. Like, it feels like he's tickling me with Flame Spitter, doesn't do much, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, I look at my death, you know, I look at the death recap, I'm like, holy crap, I just took like 800 damage from Rumble, Flame Spitter. So, definitely, it's weird, just how all of a sudden it just scales, and you're like, wow, I just took a ton of damage. But you know what? Rumble's actually going to have an XP advantage. He's level 6. We can see him either pressure Jarvan and rotate down and deal with TF. I think Team Supreme Leader, you know, they started out really strong with the early first blood. Yep. I think what they should have done was, you know, hey, let Jarvan continue to try and play more safe. Don't worry about the CS. I was looking at the CS before. Rumble was sitting at 14 and Jarvan was sitting at 15. I mean, right now they're still even in CS. Yeah. So, I mean, if he could have played a little bit more safe, don't worry about trade so much, let Malphite hit level 6, because you have TF ult plus Malphite ult for strong ganks. They can focus a lot of energy on bot lane, especially with the fact that we had an early first blood.
Yeah, quite a bit of minions as he goes in there, but really just wants to keep up that pressure nonstop. You can see that Flame Spitter doing work. Now that he's level 6, Malphite's coming in here, but this is like dangerous, like 1v2 territory for Rumble. If they engage this one too quickly, and all they have to do is rep in this brush, and if they engage him up here, you can just throw down all. Yeah, they are done for. So they actually know better than that. They're gonna back off out of this one, and just let him be the bully that he is right now. Get that early haunting guys right off the bat. And J4 actually trying to get the magic resist in here to deal with the magic damage that's coming in here, but you can still see him getting chunked. And this Integrity just really taking a lot of damage for his team. We see Katarina coming in the backside, going to be able to pick up 1 kill. TF coming down now, trying to capitalize on one of the resets. Too strong, and now Katarina going to eat a turn shot and get that ignite. Might be able to survive. This Integrity might die. Oh, the shield coming in. Was thinking about saving him, but it looks like Katarina will survive out of this one. Griffle going to run back, getting chased down by some minions. Everybody very, very low. Malphite now rotating down as well, but more than likely not going to get in on this one. Just going to start to work on his blue buff and actually probably pick it up for himself, it looks like.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of things going in favor of the GGIs. They can play really aggressive. When we saw the TF all go down, he had the information of where Katarina was, but I think he was really focused in on how low Endless Integrity might have been, and really wanted that kill on Lulu, and then I think it was a little too late. And Katarina had already entered the fray, had already picked up a kill. And I think he came in with a red card locked. I'm not sure if that was a gold card.
Yeah, I mean, the stun probably would have been pretty clutch right there, but I really, as I've been watching this matchup, GGS has just been very, very confident in this mid lane dealing with this TF, putting in pressure constantly. It's also been out farming a little bit, and just kind of snuck out of lane right there with really no response from TF, except for, you know, he really quickly was like, oh crap, and had to teleport down. Stun's coming in for Endless Integrity. They should be able to wrap up a kill here, possibly. Whimsy coming in, slowly going to be able to follow this up. It looks like they might not be able to be very close. And there we see Griffle coming over the top, and now he's in a little bit of trouble. We see 2 other members closing down in on this one. Barry has popped, and now he's trying to 1v2, but it's still going to be a 1v3, and he needs to get out pretty soon. Use the ult, but he does get the kill. Rocket jumps out, and that's going to be good for him. He might be able to survive this one.
Malphite is level 6. Malphite can just run in and ult if he so chooses.
But it looks like there's backup, and Malphite just runs into a buzzsaw right there. Very unfortunate for him. Now TF needs to run for his life. Got the speed buff right there for GGIs, but eats a gold card. But should be able to, after the reset, put a bandage toss. Should be able to seal this kill. Winter Breeze doesn't have a lot of outs right there. And GGI's going to pick up another kill. Let's just keep pouring it on right now.
Yeah, nice flash bandage toss from Tank That Stuff.
Yep. These mummies so far have been pretty clutch for their teams. Probably a ban we should still see coming out here since, I mean, we got the early first blood, but didn't really commit to slowing down his jungle, so he's still been able to be very, very effective for his team coming in here. Stun's going down, and Griff will get a rocket jump out after. No problem right there. Mad Thunder actually not sitting on ult, but he's just going to be able to close this one out, but he turns around a little bit too quick, so he's going to die to the turret. thought he had enough ticks, but eats the Cataclysm. They're going to get a dragon as well. So jumping ahead, 4K at 10 minutes in. That is actually a pretty sizable advantage, considering also the level advantage they're going to start building for their teams right now. I believe, yeah, Tristana 2 levels ahead of Misfortune. So Misfortune has level 6 now, but even Amumu's ahead of that bot lane. And, I mean, they're really firing on all cylinders right now. Although Endless Integrity getting picked off. There's those ganks we were looking for from Winter Breeze. And Griffle now going to be running for his life. Gold card needs to be locked in to come in, but it's just going to be red card. Didn't have enough time, so just wants to get as much damage as he can. But GGI's getting pinged as he rolls in. Still going to be trouble. Has that blue buff, so even has low cooldowns, even without resets. Rest of the team mounting up, coming back to lane.
Yeah, I think right now what Team Supreme Leader wants to do is focus on rope-a-dope. They want to, put their backs up against the turret, wait for potentially, Triumphant Rice to overextend, and then and focus on counter ganking with TF ult or potentially, and then having Malphite be in the right way. So vision control is going to be huge. They're going to want to make sure they have know where they can come in and where they can get into potential counter ganking possibilities. If they say, hey, we know that they don't have vision here, Malphite can then maybe come in through river. Maybe Malphite can sneak in through Wraith camps, come in under try. And this is not going to work out. I don't think, once Overheat wears off, Rumble's ult is available and is Ignite halfway.
Yeah, again, just another one of those standard trade things in lane where it's like, if there's too many minions, it's a lot of free extra damage going against you, so Rumble having to back off out of that one, couldn't just trade, since they had a lot of people wailing on him. Now Cannon actually rotate up into J4 in this mid lane, going to be chased down, and we see actually a gold card possibly being held out here, but Griffle being able to pick up another kill in the mid lane, they might be able to get 2. Mighty Jack under us, a lot of trouble, and so many slows. Double kill right now. Now J4's in a lot of trouble, and that is another equalizer. He can't even really get out of it with flags there, but he's actually used the flash to get out of this one, but GGI's is on the hunt. He's going to be able to dive this one, it looks like. Matt Thunder going to eat the first set of turret shots. Just let GGI's get in there. Throws down the Ignite. Healing should not be enough. Will be able to take off, and GGI's going to be able to pick up that kill. And they should be able to take this top turret as well, as no one's really here to stop this. Meanwhile, Amumu covered that mid lane. Looks like TF actually blue pilling back. So no one's going to be able to defend this turret. Should lose 2 turrets, top and bottom. And then they can actually move on to this next turret. Next turret very, very soon.
So right now, now that they've secured those...
Oh, Ball Time does pick it up!
Kind of a consolation kill, I guess, for, once they took the turret, they decided not to back out. Misfortune said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and strut top. No reason to really be in bot lane, and actually...
GGI's living dangerously, wants to get in here, pops out, should be able to get enough, but no, it's not! Oh, tries to shoot Bo back in, but it's not quick enough, and Arceum, we have 2 kills. Very nicely done. Sometimes these players get a little greedy trying to show off. A tank that's still trying to follow up as well. Besides, Better actually tries to juke back up into the golems. The only feeder sees this one coming, so he's able to pick those up. And
I'm kind of curious if the Team Supreme Leader has like a Supreme Leader chant. Like, hey, when you get that double kill, like, does a chant start up like TSL, TSL?
Well, there seems to be a theme with a lot of these teams. I mean, you have Team Supreme Leader that they're based around, like, the one guy that, brought the team here. Then you have Oracle in the 4th Sight Ward, so based around Oracle. Then you have Better Carry Panchi and his friend, Bob Quinn and friends. It seems like a lot of these teams, at least half the field, is like, alright, we have this one guy we believe in, let's rally around him.
Sounds like a bunch of Judgment teams.
I know, right? It's like Judgment in a constructed format.
But Griffle now rotating mid. They're going to want to focus a lot of energy on taking this mid turret. And
there's the equalizer coming in to melt a lot of members. Almost a double kill. Gonna get wrapped up by GGI's. That damage they have is so strong. And TF comes in, turns around, tries to get the stun down, but he has just jumped into the mouth of the beast. Double kill now. And now J4 wants some as well. Gets pushed out by Tristana, and now getting run down. Lulu coming in, but triple kill for Matt Thunder. Matt Thunder just cleaning up after the rest of his team, but nice teamwork right there. Really nicely done by Griffle, actually being able to push J4 away as soon as he went in and get that distance and deal with him. A lot of good zoning control coming in here from this team comp from Triumphant Rice, and really just close this one out pretty hard here. Again, want to close these games very, very fast. Right now, they're at 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Again, just to follow up as well, the top 8 teams are going to move on to basically the Code S bracket. While some of these bottom teams, you know, if it's not too bad out here if the Team Supreme Leaders does lose, because if they don't make it to that top bracket, they can actually move to basically the A League bracket, the lower league tier bracket. And as long as they're not in the bottom 4 teams, they will get to actually play for other prizes. And unfortunately, that push has killed many a player in League of Legends, and it never stops. It never stops.
Yeah, right now the fact that they took those 2 mid lane turrets really opens up the enemy team's jungle. Either they can go in through mid lane, they can come in through river. It's right now nothing is safe. So start protecting your bases.
Yeah, I mean you really have to rally around your turrets, put up a lot of wards actually in your own jungle just to be safe, because stuff like that'll happen. I mean they had the top side warded, but didn't have the bottom side warded, and a pickoff does happen. And when you're behind like this, a pickoff just totally depletes your ability to really defend turrets when they're able to go 5-on-4 on you. Especially someone like Malphite, whose ult, even when he's behind, is really, really key. It can be very effective.
We're going to see them collapse here in a second.
A little bit of collapse, but we can see a bigger circle around them, and now they're kind of moving into the middle. Equalizer comes through, burning some trees. Apparently does not like the trees right there, Matt Thunder does, but big kills being picked up. Right now, Chris and Sad Mummy come in. Looks like it's going to be an ace for Triumphant Rise very convincingly, and they should be able to close this one out. Just so much AoE damage built up. And when I saw this team comp, I mean, even compared to the last game we cast, I think this comp is scarier than Bobquin and Friends AoE potential.
Yeah, because they're really taking advantage of the AoE composition and resets from Katarina.
Yeah.
And so they really worked it out. They're playing it well. They got an early lane advantage. They were to break down the laning phase, start grouping up, and it's just been turret fight, or winner team fight, take turrets, winner team fight, take an inhibitor. I think at this point they're gonna go back. They're gonna shop. They're gonna just secure that advantage. It's now 24/7. They're about 17 minutes in, and then we'll probably see them either rush Baron, or maybe just a straight up, possibly force a fight down mid lane with super minions, because they are that strong. They know that if a team fight breaks out, they're probably going to come out ahead, 3 or 4 kills for 1, and they might be able to just finish the game. That would be the fastest way for them to finish this game.
Yeah. I mean, again, the name of the game, at least for the tiebreakers, is to finish it as quickly as possible. If you can, and the other teams, kind of wanted to play spoiler a little bit too. That kind of becomes the fun part. If you're behind like this, you can just be like, "All right, screw this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, stall this out."
Think about this. Like, what exactly? What is the best stall strategy? Is there an advantage for stalling it out? I don't know based on the tournament structure, but it's like, hey, hey, all right, everybody, go back to base, sell your items, and buy home guard boots. Why? Let's go. Just turtle up.
Oh, GGI's coming around the backside. Arcsim already very, very low. Gonna see the ult coming, gonna melt a lot of members. Equalizer following that one up, and that is 3 members melted very, very quickly. The only team alive.
Oh, Quadra coming.
Fate coming in for the doom right here. And GGI's gonna be able to pick it off. There's the Quadra.
Let's take. Go for the Penta.
Doesn't want to give the Penta. Oh man, Mighty Jack not feeling giving up the Penta here.
But yeah, because they were able to get caught, they did actually group up. They've got super minions here. They're going to put a lot of damage. The respawn timers are actually quite low because we're so early in the game, but they still have enough damage that can probably take 1 base turret.
And Misfortune getting a good off over there, but it just kind of tickling them right now. Though GDS getting very well, they exhaust him. Although pick up another kill after the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Now back out fast when they're able to pick up another kill. This is the advantage of kind of trying to come in here and rumble very, very close to another kill. But Tristana going to be able to come in and wrap up this one. The reset's too strong. There's another kill and stunned on his turret, but Griffle needs to come back out here. Just start to clean up these turrets. Still have Malphite down for 4 seconds. Tarek down for 9. Those two aren't very, very scary, as the best they're going to be able to do is stun and slow down Griffle's assault on this next hit. We see them trying to close this out. 1908. If they can get it underneath 21:34, it will be faster than the last game. And it looks like Griffle might be able to do this one, but it looks like he's going to need a little bit of backup, as the rest of the team's going to be coming up very, very shortly. And they're going to be holding this one out a little bit longer.
And, Griffle doing work here, using the minions to lifesteal, using Explosive Shot to farm all the lanes, creep waves.
Essentially pushing all lanes.
That early IE doing work. He's got to play the Rune King in IE. I think he might consider, if he get a 1v2, maybe a 1v3, I wouldn't be surprised. With Lulu ult, we could probably see like a 2v4, 2v5. Katarina now coming coming back to lane.
Yeah. Once they meet up here, I mean, it's pretty much over. They can't stand out in the open. And you just see Misfortune disappear, and that is the cue for Griffin to go in, gets the ult, and Chichi has diving fountain. Not going to work out, but getting planked from outside the fountain. Double kill. They are not even safe in their own fountain, getting backed off out of this. Griffin pushing him down now as well. And now the focus going back on the Nexus, and it looks like Triumphant is going to be able to take this one indeed faster. 20 minutes, and it looks like 23 seconds. Nicely done by them.